Hi there, this is Nate with the video for my Craigslist listing for the ThinkPad Edge 14. I'm going to go over some of the specs, talk about some of the cool things about the computer, and do a couple of little stress tests. Alright, let's start off with the keyboard and the mouse. That's really where people are going to find a great experience with the computer. Now, with most budget laptops, you're going to find a lot of flex in the keyboard, or bends or sways, or the keys really aren't going to connect all that well. Here, you're going to find one of the best experiences you'll ever find in the keyboard. As it, it's actually a ThinkPad, so that's what you'd expect, because legendary IBM and ThinkPad keyboards. There's no travel. I'm pressing as hard as possible, and the keys aren't bending, shifting, or moving at all. It's really great. And you get the chiclet, or I guess some people call it the island key layout here, where they're all separated and raised from the board, so you really get great contact, and it's just a really nice experience. You can type really quickly, and there's no errors when you type. The little red button here, if most people don't know, would be the Ultra Nav, which acts as a backup trackpad for the computer. With these two buttons here accommodating that, and you get a very nice, wide, smooth trackpad with, of course, the two dedicated buttons right there as well. Inside, you'll find a Phenom 2 triple-core processor running at 1.8 gigahertz each core. Or if you're a tech geek like me, it's search it as the Phenom 2 P8200 processor. You'll also get 4 gigs of full DDR3 1333 memory, a 250 gigabyte hard drive, running at 5400 RPM. But Lenovo did put in a great hard drive that actually has a lot of cache, so that sort of makes up for the RPM slowdown there. And the very nice HD 4290 graphics built onto the North Bridge. If we can actually get the experience index on here. There we go, the experience index score. If you haven't noticed, the screen is a 14-inch wide screen LED, which actually is really nice. The colors are vibrant and they pop, and it's actually a really nice screen. You see the overall score of a 4.1 dragged down by the internal graphics. I think the WIE score sort of unfair here. You get a 5.4 out of a 7.9 for the processor, 5.9 for the memory, 4.1 for the graphics, but the gaming graphics get a respectable 5.3, which we'll go over that in a minute, and the hard drive gets a nice 5.8. Performance-wise, actually a really good computer. I loaded up a couple of videos here in games and stuff to show you how nice it works. The triple core really handles streaming and HD and all that stuff just smooth as butter. Here is a sample 720p from YouTube trailer of the new Planet of the Apes that launched this weekend.
We're talking about huge potential for millions of people. Our therapy enables the brain to repair itself. We call it the cure. I want you to stop testing on chimps ASAP.
Alright. So that's a testing of just a sample online 720p video. Of course, doing 1080p wouldn't make any sense because the computer monitor can't output to 1080p. It does have a resolution of 1366 by 768, which is just a little bit above 720p. But as you can see, it didn't stutter. The graphics handled really nicely. So there's that. I do game on here just a little bit with some Steam games. And here I have a Half-Life 2, which is not an older game a little bit, but I have a stress test getting ready to run for Half-Life 2. Or it did until I minimized it. There we go. And the internal graphics, it's not dedicated, but they're actually really good graphics. It shares with the internal 4 GB memory. And as you can see here, it's a pretty good experience. Half-Life 2, as shown here, is in 1366 by 768. All settings are on high. It may run a little bit smoother if you lower the resolution to something like, I don't know, 1280, 1024, and lower the resolution and textures to medium or low. But actually, as you can see here, it works pretty nicely. And it's not really a gaming computer, as you know, it's a ThinkPad Edge, so it's really made for business, but it works pretty nicely. And, by the way, that test was going along the same time as Torchlight was running. I think I may have opened the wrong one here. But, yep, Torchlight is also running on the background at the same resolution, 1366 by 768. All settings on high, and it actually looks really nice. It's actually really fluid and plays really well. And I'm not really an expert on this game, but it works really well. The graphics and everything's smoothing. There's no lag or slowdown. It's actually a really nice experience for gaming, and that's, having two games running at the same time, if that gives you any indication on the graphics, and they're both at high settings too, so that's just really nice. It features a Windows 7 64-bit Ultimate experience on here. As you can see, I've been using the computer for a while, and by the time you get this, though, if you're interested, I will do for you a fresh install, so it's going to be brand new and speedy and customized to your experience. Again, the build quality is really nice. It's just a really good build quality. The keyboard and the case feels nice and sturdy. There's no flex at all, and it doesn't feel like cheap plastic, even though it's plastic for the price range. It's just really nice plastic here, and it just feels really solid. Let's look at some of the ports. On this side, you're going to see most of the ports here. Here is the headphone out, the HDMI out, which I recommend for people if you would like this to turn into like a desktop kind of system. The built-in 10100 network port, the external serial ATA / USB combo port, and if you don't have a computer, monitor, or a TV that supports HDMI, we have the traditional VGA. On the undercarriage, you're going to see, well, you might see right here, but underneath this is going to be a 7-in-1 media reader, which is actually really nice and helpful. On the other side, I don't think it's going to be very visible, but we have two USB 2.0 ports and a slimline pop-out DVD-RW all-in-one reader, all that fun jazz. Supports dual layer, which is nice if you are into burning discs. On the rear side, we have a USB 2.0 port that's powered even when the computer is not on, which is actually really nice as well. And as you can see, it's just a nice solid system. The one issue, as noted on my Craigslist posting, is of course the monitor. As the monitor works really nicely, in most systems you think if it's broken or damaged, the monitor wouldn't work at all. That's not the case here. The hinges are broken, and I'm having the monitor resting up against a box. I think it's a home-style bake box, something like that. But as you can see, it still works. It's just in need of some minor repair. I did see a listing on eBay for about $40 for the hinges, for the hinge repair set, if you're interested in that. Otherwise, I was just thinking people might want to do that HDMI out, close the lid, and just use it as a desktop alternative. Actually, it's it's powerful enough. I use MediaShow Espresso along with the HD4290 to encode several videos into MKV and rip movies and things like that and compile those, and actually it's worked really nicely. And I think you'll see that the price reflecting in the listing on Craigslist It's going to see into account for that broken monitor. But, you know, again, it still works really nicely. It works really well. It's LED, so it takes and uses a lot less energy, but still gives you the great, vibrant colors, actually. And it, you know, it gets pretty bright. And on the dimmest settings, it's still really nice and usable. The battery is I believe it's a 6-cell battery, and on high performance, you get about 2.5, 3 hours battery life, which really isn't that bad, and the computer is about a year old. So, other than that issue with the monitor, it's just, you know, really nice quality. I've taken care of it besides that right there, that one issue, but it works really nicely. The keyboard, the mouse, everything works really well. And I think I may actually have missed this. It's the fingerprint reader, which is built in there, and you'll be able to use that once you get it, and I'll actually, you know, do the clean install. Features a 1.3 megapixel webcam right here, which actually is really nice quality. I used it with Yahoo Messenger the other day, and just nice and fluid compared to my friend's Dell computer, which is really jaggy and slow. It's nice real time, and I think the processor actually helps to do the real-time video calling and all that. What I didn't show you is actually it's Bluetooth 2.1 on board as well, which is actually really nice. And I used to use that for the Microsoft keyboard and mouse. But enough of my rambling. I think I'll just show you a little bit more of the computer. And if you're interested, shoot me an email with the link above in the Craigslist posting, or call me 616-284-1620. That's 616-284-1620. Either call or text, and we'll see if you'd like to come and see this amazing beauty, ThinkPad Edge 14. Thanks for viewing. This is Nate.